Lake County, if you're not familiar with it, is a county in Northern California. It is just over the mountain from Napa Valley, which is much more famous. It is a beautiful area known for Clear Lake, which is the largest freshwater lake in North America, and its delicious Bartlett pears. The area also has many vineyards and fruit and nut ranches. Most people love walnuts. I know I do. They are full of omega 3s and they taste good too. The issue is how can walnuts be grown in a sustainable, profitable way, using organic or transitional organic methods? Most people do not know how involved going organic is. There are a lot of issues involved in this process. For example, in order to be considered an organic producer of fruits and nuts, the grower must show that he or she has used organic methods for 3 years before the produce can be labeled as organic. This is known as the organic transition process. It is the most difficult part of the change from conventional to organic agriculture methods. Organic produce affects the grower producing organic foods as well as the companies that harvest organic produce, and those who sell and distribute organic produce. The consumer is also affected because they have a choice of organic or conventional foods. The surrounding farmers are affected because if the invasive bugs are not controlled, then they may infect the surrounding orchards. Also, the environment in general is affected because of the use of less toxic materials. Another issue is that organic walnuts cost more to produce, and the consumer pays two to three times as much for them as opposed to conventional walnuts. Whenever one crop, whether it is walnuts or peaches or tomatoes, for example, is produced in large quantities, specific bugs and weeds are attracted to that orchard. In the case of walnuts, house flies can be very destructive to walnut production. Also, depending on the size and age of the trees, specific kinds of weeds can appear. I see walnut production as a system. There's the conventional way to do it and the organic way. Each way has different methods of production. There seem to be more steps involved in the organic method of production. For example, the organic walnut farmer needs to use more water for his orchard and the irrigation systems has to be suspended above ground. It takes more fuel because more machines are being used to keep the weeds down and the bugs away. In addition, more workers are needed in an organic orchard, which might cost the farmer a little bit more, but it's good for the local job market. All in all, I believe that the benefits gained by the healthier nuts people have to eat and less toxic materials being used to produce the nuts make organic walnut production a good choice. The Loaiza Walnut Company is a small family-owned and operated business in Lake County, California. The owner has been considering whether or not to make the switch to organic walnut production from conventional production. The company addresses the issue in two main ways. The first is by collaborating with other walnut growers who have gone through or who are going through the process of changing from standard production to organic production. The second social change model strategy used is common purpose. All the organic farmers in the area have a common purpose, discuss strategies, and have to be certified by the county agriculture advisor. If interested, you can check out the Lake County Farm Bureau at lakecof.com or the California Walnut Commission at walnuts.org. I worked with the walnut farmer to get a good understanding of what is involved in transitioning from being a conventional walnut grower to an organic farmer. I also spoke with the farmers at organic farms in the area and the representatives at agriculture supply houses like Rainbow Agriculture and Agriculture Unlimited, who had a lot of knowledge and information. For my service, I realized that it takes a lot of time, 3 years, to go through the transition process. I also found out that reasons organic walnuts and probably other organic foods cost more is because it costs the farmer more to grow these products. For example, the traditional materials used to get rid of houseflies cost $60 for a half a gallon, whereas the organic methods use a material called Entrust would cost $300 a quart. I was very conscious of self because I feel so strongly about organic farming. I had to be careful to show my commitment but be sensitive to the farmer and his need to weigh all the pros and cons of organic. I gained an appreciation of walnut farmers, what they do, and the problems they face. There is no one guaranteeing them any price support, so all the risks, like market demand, weather, transportation issues, and labor issues, are all on the individual grower. But I feel committed to this issue and try to be congruent by taking and talking about the benefit of organic foods with my family and friends, who are in the close sphere of influence. I also plan on staying in touch with the owner of the walnut orchard to keep up with the process and to lend hands-on help. One of the problems with going organic is it can be seen as elitist. Organic food costs more money, and people who have a limited budget cannot afford to buy organic produce. Creative solutions to this problem need to be worked out. One idea might be locally produced on neighborhood gardens on farms where people share the labor. Some schools have organic gardens on farms where people share the labor. Some schools have organic gardens, and more could be encouraged to do so. People can get involved by learning more about the issue and by supporting organic farmers whenever they can.